Alright, what's up everyone? Welcome back for another video. Thanks for joining me, and I mean, by the title you could probably figure out what we're doing. Hopefully you enjoy that little like artsy intro thing that I did, because it took me a lot longer to dismantle the front end because of the way I was recording it. So hopefully give me a thumbs up for that one, hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed that, I guess. But let's get into the point of the video now, and I'll explain a couple things of why we're here. You know, on that Nextdoor app, someone was complaining about leaf blowers, and I was like, yo, just get over it. But now that I'm filming this video outside and they've been going on for about an hour, annoying. So as you see behind me, the ZR2 is up in the air, as you saw obviously by that little intro edit thing. But what we got to do today is change the CV boots. I'm just gonna close the door, but the 240 is half out of the driveway, half out into the driveway right now, so I can't do that. I'm gonna have to talk over these annoying ass leaf blowers. So I don't know if this is basically a wear and tear item or the first batch I got of these were defective, but these are the heavy duty ones from, I guess, Peak Suspension. Well, they sell them. I don't know if they're a Peak Suspension brand or whatever, but these are the heavy duty boots, the CV boots for the ZR2. And when you lift your ZR2, you run into the problem of tearing your stock CV boots because they're apparently made out of paper mache. So I do have a video of changing the CV boots the first time around. I will link that up there. Go check that one out, because I believe I recorded a little while ago. I believe it's a little more in depth about taking the front end apart, so you might need that. If you don't have all these tools to do it, probably, well, I mean, you're watching me do it, so if you don't have the tools to do it, I'll give it a quick rundown towards the end of the video of all the tools you need. If you don't have them, obviously don't attempt this. So the passenger side one has a tear, I feel like about right here or here. Telltale sign of this is you'll see grease all on the inside of your wheel well. I'll go show you that in a minute. We'll go check that out. But if you have grease all over, there's a good chance you tore a CV boot, especially if you have stock boots. Like I said, maybe I had a defective batch. It is what it is. It's not the end of the world. I actually was gonna do this yesterday, and it was almost 60 degrees out. It was beautiful out, and I was lazy, and I decided I'll put it off one day, and then I wake up today and everything's wet. So don't be lazy about it either. Now, when you go to change these, it is a complete mess. It's very messy. If you've never done this before, that video that I linked before was actually my first time doing it, and then I did it once more since then because, like I said, I did change the driver's side ones because those tore. I don't know if it was during the trip to Moab or right before the trip, the cross-country trip, but that was torn, so I changed both. This time I'm only going to change the one that's torn, which is the inner one. I'll show you guys how to pop that out, because I don't remember if I showed you how to remove the axle from the differential, but it's not that hard, but you do need some pry bars to pop it out. We're going to dismantle the inner CV boot shaft thingy, which I didn't show you how to do on the first one because I wasn't completely sure and I didn't want to give false information. But since I did the other one, I actually think the inner might be a little bit easier, even though there's a couple more parts you have to work with. But like I said, it's messy, so make sure you have some rags, make sure you have some rubber gloves, and let's pull this apart. Actually, let's go look at the grease that you're gonna see. The first time I did it, when I tore the outer CV boot, my shock was actually rubbing against it and it actually tore completely. This one is just a little hole. I'll try to show you how it looks when I get it out of the truck on the vise, but let's go look at the grease. All right, so this is where we're at. It's just a bunch of WD-40 on here, so don't worry about all that stuff. But in here, you see it's like a little greasy. There's grease spattered on the brake line, on the bump stop. So these are signs you're gonna wanna look for. The first time when I did it, it was all over the inside wheel well, but it was the front one and it was all over the back of the wheel too. But this one's not that bad, but it still has to get changed, so. This is crazy. It's very annoying. So we're just gonna try to talk over the leaf blowers because they're being very inappropriate right now. I see them. So it is very wet out, so I'm not gonna lay on the floor with you right now. What you have here is your axle is going into your differential right there. So what you need to do is find a spot, probably like the bolt right there. You're gonna put your pry bar in between that, and you're just gonna start prying out. Since the unplanned noise, I'm just gonna do this quick. I will show you what I'm talking about. After I get the axle out, I'll show you what I'm talking about, but it will be a little bit difficult to pop it out because there's a little ring that holds it into the differential. So I'll show you after I get it out and get it in here. Might wind up pushing the car out so I can close this damn garage door because it's very annoying. So if you look right, let me get a glove on because this is a complete mess. But right here, right there that I'm pointing at, there's a little pinhole. There might be another hole, but that's really the only one I see right now. All the junk is on this side, so probably don't have to go to the extreme. Probably don't have to go to the extreme of changing the whole thing. Probably could have like plugged it up somehow, but we're just gonna change it because, well, obviously now we're gonna change it because it's completely off the car. Let's tear down this side and go from there. So first thing we're gonna do is cut these little metal bands off. This is where it gets messy. Rookie mistake. Forgot to get some rags ready. All right, so when you start looking at this, you'll see a little ring on the inside. We gotta pop that ring off. So find the end of it, pop that off. Now, you just gotta be careful here because I probably should have put something other than the garbage pail under this. Hold on. All right, I got my oil pan here. So now this is gonna roll off, and you gotta watch out. There are little ball bearings in here. They may or may not fall out. That's what you look like. Yeah, there's one. And I got 6. I forgot to go get brake cleaner from the store before we did this, so just doing rags right now. Making it work. On the other side of this, actually, I'll take these gloves off, I'll show you. On the other side, there's a snap ring. You gotta get your little snap ring pliers, take that off, then this thing will come off, and this will come off. So what you gotta, on the ZR2 thing I'm noting, there's this little groove here. This goes out, it's also tapered, so the smaller side goes into the axle, so it can't come off. That snap ring right there, you gotta take that off, and then that whole section falls off, then that comes off. Then we can slide the new boot on. This is something that if you're doing and it's torn pretty bad, you want to clean this out as best as you can because you want to get whatever dirt and grime that could have made its way in. But as you saw, there was a little tiny pinhole, so I'm not too concerned about dirt, so I'm just going to clean off as much grease as I can by hand, and then we're going to put it back together. All right, so I realized that I may have forgot to show you the thing with the ring. So this is the piece of the axle that goes in your differential. You see this little ring right here. That is the thing that's holding it in. Doesn't look like much, but this holds it in. So you gotta pop that out. That's why it might take a little effort to pop it out. It might seem like it's stuck, but give it enough effort and you'll be able to pop it out. A big enough pry bar goes a long way. Another thing to note, you'll see the top of this has, well, not the top, you'll see this has this like protrusion here and not on the other side. You'll see when you put it on, obviously, but this side with the little extra lip goes in. So then you can still put your snap ring on. If you go this way, you don't have enough room for the snap ring, so not too bad. Now this is where the fun comes, because you got to try to make sure you keep all your balls on. They give you a bag for each boot. Use as much of the bag as possible. Actually gonna start by squirting some in. Don't forget the ring. So as you see, the axle's back together with the CV boot on. One other tip, you don't have to let out all the air, but maybe especially the inner has a lot of play in and out, so let out some of the air before you seal the boot, so when you so when it compresses it doesn't just like balloon out. Other than that, pretty easy if you just I guess follow along. The inner side to me is easier because I've done the inner and the outer. The inner, there's a couple more pieces to deal with, but it seems easier to me. The outer one, you need to like hold it in place, smash it with the hammer, then when we put it back, you kind of like have to start a ring. Kind of like the same ring that holds this in over here, that holds the axle in. There's one on the end of the axle that you have to start the edge of it and then hit the end of the axle back in. I don't really like using hammers that much on the threaded ends, especially on axles and stuff like that. So inner side, a lot easier. Just need a snap ring plier and this tool to put it back. This is the tool to put it back, because if you look back to my first video, I actually used like tile cutters and it doesn't have enough pressure to close it enough. So just get the right tool. If I remember, I will try to find this on Amazon and link it down below. I don't get any money for it, but it's just to help you guys out. I've been getting a slight little noise on the passenger side. I think it may have started on the driver's side actually, but I have been getting a little noise. So hopefully taking everything apart, tightening it all back down is gonna get rid of that. I don't know what it is. Maybe it was just that I lost some of the grease from the inside of the boot. Who knows what it is, but hopefully it goes away. Hasn't been really affecting any of the driving. It's just a noise that I've been hearing, and I feel like it should affect the driving, but it hasn't been really yet. I mean, until it gets bad. But I'm gonna open this door back up, put this back together. Let's go over everything. All right, so I said I would go over everything that you need to do this. So it's a bunch of stuff. We'll go over quick. Yeah, let's do this quick. First, jack stands, get the car in the air. Take your wheel off. My wheel happens to be Method lug nuts, which is that thing there with a 13/16 socket. Do that, break them loose with your breaker bar, take them off with your impact gun. Well, break them loose before you get the car in the air, then take them off with the impact gun, or if you have a big enough impact gun, you might be able to take them off with it in the air, but wheel might spin. So take note of that. And then once you're in the air with your wheel off, in no particular order, because everything's got to come off either way, got to remove your sway bar, and your sway bar is a 15 millimeter on the top, 13 millimeter on the bottom. So you're gonna need a wrench, and well, 2 wrenches. Then you need to take your tie rod off. Your tie rod is a 21 millimeter. Take that off. You got to take the bottom of your I guess your knuckle off. The bolt down there is a 27 millimeter. And before you take everything else off, you got to take your ABS line off. So it's a 10 millimeter holding it onto the back of that. Then this down here is a T30 holding it in there. Just take that off, pull it out of the way. Take your brake calipers off. Your brake calipers is at 18 millimeter on the back. There's just 2. Then zip tie it up. Don't hang it from the brake line. This is where we may differ. Since I have the King suspension, that is a 17 millimeter top and bottom, which it's kind of difficult to get that in there. So I actually use these are Nipex. I'll try to link these down below if I remember. Basically, it's like an adjustable wrench, but pliers. Very good grip. Get some good leverage. Good for whatever bolt you don't know what the size is. So take those off. And you gotta take the bolt off from your knuckle. So from the upper control arm to knuckle, underneath here is a 22 millimeter. Up top is a 9/16. I'm sure there's a American SAE or whatever size for that, but come off. You want the jack underneath to support it so everything doesn't drop on you. Then the big thing is that bolt right there. So this bolt, if you don't have a large enough impact gun, you're gonna want to do it before you take your brake caliper off. You could have someone step on the brake for you and take that off. That's a 36 millimeter. What you want to do is take your 2x4. So you don't need this large of a piece of wood. You could use a shorter, but you're gonna put it on there and smash the back of it to unseat that from the knuckle. Assortment of pry bars. You don't need a long one or a short one, but you need pry bars. Obviously, when you put it back, I didn't have to hit it in with the hammer. I actually lined it up and just jammed it in, and it worked. That's what she said. Then torque it down to spec, blah, blah, blah. Do as I say, not as I do. Torque everything down, put it all back. Gotta clean up all the tools, put the wheels back, then take it off the jack stands, and we're done. Let me do that quick. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If that was in any way informative to you, hit that like button please. Hit that subscribe button too. Share it with anyone else you know that needs help in this situation, because you can do it yourself. You don't have to pay a shop, but you just need a few tools to do it. And like I said, it's just messy. It's not really hard to do, it's just messy to do. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for joining me. Hit that subscribe button like I just said. Have another mod coming for the truck that involves these lights. So if you stayed this long and you got any guesses, leave them down below. See you guys in the next one. Peace out and off-road.